Hi everybody, this is Black Lion. Now today's episode we're discussing the new labor law. I wanted to just put it across. Look, I'm no HR specialist or anything, or I'm not a lawyer or anything. I'm just a simple employee. I'm also sharing this basing on what I see that would be very relevant, especially to me. And if you find it very relevant to yourself as well, that would be much fine. Now, I just wanted to point out some of the things that would be this new labor law that you could watch out for. And today is when it starts. 2nd February 2022, the law takes effect today. There's a lot of things that have happened, things that have changed, and today I'm going to mention a couple of them. To be precise, I'll talk about 6 of them, 6 changes to the new labor law that you may watch out for, or that you're going to see that is going to be in practice. And I'll start off from 6 all the way until 1. Now, if you just joined with me, I share relevant experience on how to survive in Dubai based on part of the things that I've faced in a while. And in my previous videos, if you have not watched my previous videos before, you can take this opportunity to go watch. That is one, I spoke about the labor law, but it was only mentioning one part of the law that we were looking forward to, especially when staff are leaving their companies and employees are ending probation. Now this one, I'm going to share a lot more. I'm going to dig into about 6 things and 6 changes that are happening in the new labor law, and you can watch out for. They may be helpful to you if you're already employed, or if you're thinking about getting a job. It might be able to give you a good clue into this. So now, without further ado, let's get a deep dive into it and start off. Changes and ease of which you can move from one job to the other. This is taking it into effect in this new labor law. Now, staff are going to be able to freely move from one job to the other. Previously, before, some members of staff or some employees previously were not able to, easily move, because sometimes the employer would keep your belongings and ask you to, at the end of your contract, immediately, escort you to the airport or ask you to exit the country. Immediately they have signed off your contract. And now, this cannot be done in this new system, and it will give some room for staff now to stay around and look for jobs and actually change jobs. It would be much easier in this new labor law. So freedom to move and change jobs has been factored in, and it's going to be beneficial for staff who want to switch jobs. You no longer have to immediately leave and stay around and look for the right job and be able to change gracefully into another job. Another point that would be very crucial is the changes in minimum wage. Now, there will be a set amount that would be determined later on of the amount of minimum wage that staff will be paid. Employees will be able to receive a minimum wage. This goes along to protect the professionalism of the industry. Talents would be, at least protected in a way that you're not going to be paid below a certain amount. But before, there was no really set amount. It was just asking employers to be able to cover their employees' basic needs and pay them enough to be able to cover all their costs and basic needs. Okay, the next number 4 would be gratuity. Now, this, first of all, you have to know what gratuity means. That would be the end of service benefit. This is the amount of money that you get at the end of your service. Now, some companies have been, you've worked in a company and you've worked 5 years, for example. Your gratuity will be calculated based on 30-day period per day. But this will be only calculated on the basic pay. It will not include those amounts that are given to you in allowances, in bonuses, in transportation and all these others. It will be the basic pay divided by 30 days, and that would be the amount per day. And that amount per wage would be given for you 21 days of service. Alright, 21 days of service. Now, what has changed in this? With these gratuity schemes now, there will be more and more added on to this. That means there's be flexibility with this gratuity now. Staff can be able to have certain schemes such as saving schemes, whereby your gratuity will be entered into a pool that will be given to you at the end of the service term. You can decide to do this, so it will be flexible enough to include a couple of funds and gratuity schemes that will come along. Women will be equally paid. All right, this seems a little bit, just to be able to speak it off, this goes ahead to clarify the amounts of money that are paid to different groups of employees. It will be irrespective of whether this is a lady or this is a man. Every staff, basing, as long as you're working on the same kind of job, the same kind of requirement, there would be, this law goes ahead to streamline, and it goes ahead to even clarify things to do with discrimination. There won't be discrimination according to race, according to religion, according to gender, according to your nationality, according to color of the skin, all these things. So this law goes ahead to scrutinize this and to watch this going to be played, to watch this going into play. Employers must be compensated if their employees leave before the end of probation period. This number 2 goes ahead to talk about probation period. Now, probation period was in a way that if a staff wants to leave, or if the employer wants to end the contract with the staff within the probation period, these can be ended. But now this is changing in a way that if an employer wants to end an employee's work within the period of 6 months, he has to give a 14 days notice and ask them to be able to prepare themselves to leave the job, other than just cutting them off immediately without them preparing. So this is, as long as it's within the 6 months period of time, the employer has to give their employee a notice of 14 days that, hey, you're going to stop now, you have to look for another job, or you're not going to continue with me. So this is what is going to happen. Same applies to the employee. If the employee wants to leave, he has to give 1 month notice to their employer and inform them that they're going to leave. And if they leave before the end of the 6 months and they leave the country, when they come back to the country within a period of 3 months, they will have to refund all the costs that has been paid, giving them visas, or the company that they're going to has to pay that money to their employer that they're leaving. So all this is going ahead to clarify and to protect both sides in terms of end of probation or probation period discussions. The last one would be the limited and unlimited contracts. Now, going forward, starting today, all contracts should be made limited. Now, I'll give you a background a little bit about the limited and unlimited contracts. Most of the contracts, a lot of contracts have been unlimited, in a way that the employer and the employee come into agreement, but it's open. It doesn't have a definite time that the contract ends. And there was another one which was limited. So employees had the option of either giving limited or unlimited contracts. Now, so many people didn't understand limited and unlimited contracts. Even I could share an experience some years back when I was working somewhere. One of my colleagues wanted to leave, but he was not comfortable about leaving. So he asked me, so if I leave, I cannot leave because I have an unlimited contract. And I asked him, why cannot you leave? And I asked him, why can't you leave? And he said, this unlimited contract bonds me to my employer, so until he tells me to leave, I will not leave. So, oh boy, he was wrong. The limited and unlimited contracts both have requirements for both parties to inform the other 1 month before they want to leave, whether it's limited or unlimited. The only difference is the limited is for a set period of time, say 2-year contract, and you have to renew, 3-year and you have to renew, right? The unlimited doesn't have a set time. But both of these contracts, you had to, whether the employer or the employee, both of you had to inform the other 1 month before, a written notice, and both of you have to agree this notice and these terms and sign them, and then you can be able to end that contract. Going forward, there won't be any unlimited contracts. There won't be any unlimited. All contracts are required to be limited now. It doesn't matter for what kind of company, for which grade, all contracts will be limited. And now it has been asked that all companies should be able to register to move all their unlimited contracts and make them limited. And they've been given 12 months to do this. And there's some hefty fines that will be imposed upon any employers who are not taking into account these new laws. So the seriousness is so high up there, and there's huge fines that employers will face if they don't follow the new labor law. Now I hope this can clarify and give you a couple of hints about what to watch out for in this new labor law, and I hope that you can understand and grasp something. And as an employee or as an employer, there's always more to discuss. And if you want more information about this type of things, these government sites are available. You can look, you can read these things and understand them for yourself. I'm just sharing what I believe that can be very crucial. There is more changes. There's a lot of changes in this new labor law. I've just discussed a couple of them that I felt that would be beneficial to me, and I believe perhaps would be beneficial to you. So if you've enjoyed it, if you learned something, you give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, thank you for watching until now.